Hey, what's up guys? Smoldor here, and it actually has been a while since we have put up another video on games and thoughts and stuff, and a big reason of that is, well, I just don't have enough time right now to be playing a lot of games, but we managed to finish our playthrough of Final Fantasy XII The Zodiac Age, which was the international version, and that was released, I want to say, in 2017. So pretty recently, remastered, everything like that for modern systems and things like that. And it changed some stuff from the original game. I played the game once originally in 2006, when it very first came out on the PS2, and never again. So playing it again this time was quite a treat, and I'm just leaving my scores up above of all the rankings and stuff, but I kind of want to go down the list in the line of what things are right now. And I think I have the primary narrative at an 8, so we'll start with that. Overall, I think this game has a very strong narrative, a very strong, clear path of what it's trying to do. It is the story is far more political, I guess you can say, than other Final Fantasies, maybe. At the end of the day, still good versus evil, that kind of thing. But, I don't know, I really enjoyed it. That being said, the reason why I don't have it higher is because of two characters in the game that just really bring it down for me, unfortunately. And they're kind of like forced into the story to like have a purpose, but you can totally tell they're very forced. I had heard, I don't know if this is true, but I had heard that the developers added these characters in more or less late in development because they felt that the general audience wouldn't be able to relate or connect with the other characters that the story was really about as much, so they threw in the younger characters. I'm talking about Vaughn and Pinello. These are two very young characters that pretty much had no point in being in the entire story after, I don't know, like the first or second act of the game. It's really about Ash, Bosch, Balthier, with like Fran being a supporting character. To Balthier, it's really about Ash more than anything, but Bosch has a really strong, lot of strong story points, as does Balthier. He is the leading man, of course. And even Fran has some pretty heavy significance to the story, although she's more of just a supportive character to Balthier. But Vaughn, I mean, sure, you can say he has a point. They're actually, you know, they put in reasons why they're there, but it's forced, I guess, in a way that just makes no sense. There is no reason that they should be there. Same thing with Pinello. But aside from that, everything else I thought was fantastic. The whole nations going to war, the Empire, the Rosarians, the Resistance, and all this kind of stuff, and the story about Ash wanting to reclaim her heritage of power and use it for good, that kind of thing. Character development, I put it at the same rating, which is an 8 as well, because I thought everybody else was fantastic, but Vaughn and Pinello are always kind of forced in the forefront a lot of the times, and to be honest, they're terrible characters. Vaughn is not as bad as Pinello, but still pretty bad. Man, it's tough to say. Like, he's worse than Titus, that's for sure. And that's kind of hard to do, I think. So combat systems. I put this at a 10, basically as perfect. And the reason why, and I know a lot of people would not say this, because the combat is very automated. It plays a lot like the old Final Fantasy XI MMO, in a sense of you just kind of auto-attack, and the characters all attack. But there's the whole gambit system is fantastic. Being able to queue up priority lists of what all the characters are going to do. Excuse me. Without you even having to issue any commands based on what's going on in the battle. They'll do XYZ depending on what's happening, which is awesome. Plus, you can still manually control everything, which is great, and it works flawlessly in my opinion. The Zodiac version adds the ability to speed up the game by 2x or 4x, which is perfect. Turbo mode is something that should be in every single big game, I think. That should always be an option. Maybe, like, once you beat it, if it's like a modern game or something like that. but any kind of remaster should always have this. And it's just me. What do we got next? Non-combat systems. So I put it in an 8.5. It was either going to be that or a 9. So this is where comes in one of the big changes with the Zodiac system, which is the license boards are different. There is now jobs. So in the original version, everyone had the exact same license board and everyone could learn everything. That's just how it was. Granted, you would have to grind tremendously if you obviously wanted to do that. But in this one now there's specific jobs, classes, or whatever you want to call it, and each license board for the job has different things. So if you wanted to be a white mage, and I should say everybody can learn 2 jobs. So you can be a white mage and a rogue, or what they call them, the Shikari. They use daggers. Daggers and shields, which is what I made my Ashe. In my playthrough, Ashe was my tank healer. But she can never use heavy armor. She can never use 2-handed swords, with a few exceptions. So there was always like some weird exceptions to the boards and that kind of thing. And that allowed for a lot of variety and builds to the characters. One thing, though, that like really brings it down for me, and I've noticed a lot of modern Final Fantasies have done this, and not just Final Fantasies, just other RPGs in general, you can't use items in the item menus anymore. And I think a big part of it is because the world is just constantly going and flowing. There's no like battle scene or anything like that. It's just moving forward, constantly going. So you can only use items when you're actually in the field. I would still like to have the ability to be able to use items, or at least certain items, in the item menu. Having to do it in combat, or not necessarily in combat, but at least when you're in the field, is kind of, I don't know. And a lot of, there could be more ways to characterize, or like when I'm, not characterize, filter, I guess. So when I'm filtering through my hunts, I have to literally scroll through all my hunts to find the one that I'm tracking. Or you don't even track it, you're just like, okay, which one do I want to do? You gotta scroll through this massive list of like 50, 60, however many hunts there are. There's a ton. You just gotta scroll and wait and wait and wait. There should be a way to filter through it. That'd be nice. I understand, obviously, in the original version, that was a long time ago, but this, again, this is the remastered version. They could have added this, because with the gambits, they added the ability to make gambit sets. So you can switch on the fly different gambit sets for different characters, which is really cool. I personally never used it, but I know a lot of people would make use of a system like that. Same thing with gear and armor and stuff, that they could have... a better way to filter through things could have been done a little bit better. Trying to think of like what else could be considered within the non-combat systems. Really. Same thing when you're teleporting. Why do you even need to buy teleport stones? You should just be able to teleport at any point in time to other teleport crystals. I think it'd be cooler if you can teleport, if it would take you to a map, and you can pick where on the map, so you kind of like knew where everything was on the world, rather than just filtering through the list. And the list order was based on the order that you found them in, so it could be kind of all jumbled together, which was kind of, I don't know, not necessarily my kind of thing. I don't know. If you're noticing that I'm kind of like constantly looking this way, it's because my my recording is on my monitor, which is over here actually. I'm all doing it over here. And so when I'm looking at my my rating list and how I rated everything, I'm having to look over there. But my camera's over here. So that's why that's happening. Anyways, what do we got next? Music. Music in the game is phenomenal. This game gives me lots of Star Wars vibes. I said this many times throughout my playthrough, because of the, like, the Rebels, the Rebel Alliance and the Empire versus, you know, the Resistance and the Empire. There's ships and there's fightings, and it's all big, large scale combat. And the music is very Star Wars-esque in this game. There's not a lot of like super intense, like massively upbeat like combat music or anything like that from previous games, like boss music and everything. It's a lot more orchestral, and and keep in mind, I was listening to the remastered music, whatever was done for the Zodiac version, not the original score, because you could choose in the options. But it felt very Star Wars-like, and I loved it. The only reason why I didn't give it something like a 10 is because there was times where I felt, okay, there should be something a lot more like pumping energy. Big epic boss fights, or maybe there should at least just be something. Sometimes there's a lot more quiet ambient music that, I don't know, give me something. Technical aspects, this game is flawless. 0 issues whatsoever. And the fact that they added, there's quick saving, or quick auto-saving. I guess I shouldn't say there was quick saving, but there was auto-saves every time you would load. And because I'm playing on the PC version, yes, that saved me so many times. And it also allowed for certain farming aspects to be done very, very quickly. Or a lot faster than it would be normally, than for me to have to reload, run to the save point, run all the way there, do it. I could just, go back and forth. Amazing, probably extremely tiny feature that they didn't even need to really worry about, but that was put into the game. Loved it. But all in all, I think this game holds up extremely well. Final Fantasy XII, I think, was way ahead of its time when it came out. I remember when it came out, it wasn't received poorly, but it wasn't received, like, really great either. It was just like, it's an okay game. It's not bad, It's a little different, It's different than other Final Fantasies or other RPGs, but, I think this game holds up very well. I think if this game was released as a brand new RPG today, I think it would be very successful. Not the remaster, but I mean, like, if Final Fantasy XII just never existed and they released it today, maybe obviously some more modern graphics or whatever, but the same game basically, I think it would do extremely well. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I'm going to be uploading some more videos, hopefully soon. And, yeah. Alright, guys. Catch you guys next time. Make sure to hit the like, and subscribe. And leave any comments below if you'd like to, any specific games maybe you'd like to hear about, or ways that I could possibly be doing these videos better. I'm still constantly trying to work on, like, what I could do, what I would like better. But anyways, see you guys next time. Peace.